capacity in the pump station is really what's driving this project to come forward to you tonight at this time. So we solicited proposals, and we recommending selecting HBH consultants for the design. The pump station, too, I want to mention, the nice thing about what we're doing in this one is we're designing it so that it can receive a multiple flow capacity. So we can replace it, upgrade the station. It can still accept the flows and operate with the flows it has today. And then as flows come online, we'll be able to accept those flows all the way till full build out of the new basin. So it's a nice way to make sure we have capacity both now and in the future. So with that design, engineering is $88,000. The construction management is $67,200. So the total for the engineering is $156,000. Let's see. The HBH has a good history with us. They've been part of the village's consultant, so they have the background. They're the ones that did the initial pre-design reports. They go to DEQ and have been very responsive to both the city and DEQ. We feel confident in their abilities to design the station. So with that, I'm just recommending, we're recommending that we award the design to HBH Consulting in the amount of $156,000.
Any questions of the agency?
I do.
Mr. Williams?
Please, thank you. Just so I'm really clear, because I'm kind of new to the whole villages thing and what we're doing up there. You said it can't be developed until this is done. Is that correct?
Yes, there's the basin that serves essentially north of Block B. You're familiar, but anything. So part of the villages is going to be served by West Devils Lake Road pump station that we just upgraded.
Right.
That's the lower part. The upper part is unsewered and doesn't have. It's a basin that doesn't have a place to go. So anything developed in that basin needs to go to Salasee Road, down Salasee Road area to this Roads in North pump station.
Okay, so then I guess my next question is there someone who wants to develop it now? We seem to have a lot of land up there that isn't being sold.
Well, I don't know that answer, but I just would reiterate that until the pump station is upgraded, anyone developing would have to upgrade that pump station before they could build or develop that area.
The question is there any interest, is there any impetus to be doing this, other than maybe someday?
Mr. Mayor, if I might answer that, as you recall, that's going to be a topic for our discussion, our work meeting on the 31st of this month, is the development of the villages. And one of the things that we are proposing is that we take a two-prong approach on that. One is the sell of the Fernwood portion of the development.
Right.
And so until we put that out there, we don't know the answer on whether or not there are serious buyers for that property, because we have not put that out there yet.
Okay, I have a hesitancy to spending money for something that doesn't need to be spent on. That's my question. Yeah, so that's all I got right now.
Mr. Nuriakis, you had a question?
Stephanie, is there no need for a request for proposal on this?
We selected HBH. Yeah, I should have explained that better. We selected HBH under the request for proposals that Public Works went through to get a short list of engineers that we could award projects to. So we went out for a request for proposals from a lot of engineering firms. We received those requests, and we selected the ones that we felt were most qualified. And so it's from that list that we went to HBH.
And were they the lowest qualified bidder?
They were selected based on their qualification, and then we negotiated the budget with them. We negotiated their fees. So we didn't compare this estimate for design to another firm dollar-wise. Yeah, we used a qualification-based selection early on, and then, again, had this short list of engineering firms. We felt HBH was the most qualified. It's because they had so much background and already done, essentially, they've done the pre-design report for this project, so it was going to be hard for another firm to get up to speed and beat their price. HBH has got, they're a small firm. They have very good, competitive, I should say, hourly rates. And really, all the firms we selected to do work with are, they're mid-sized to small firms that still have the capabilities to do our kinds of projects. So I'm comfortable with their pricing.
So, Your Honor,
Yes.
this is over $100,000, so under our public contracting rules, it's a qualification-based selection process. They follow that process in creating the list of qualified contractors and then negotiated with the one they selected.
So there's two options to grant contracts. One is qualification-based and the other is price-based?
Well, if we were building something, an invitation to bid would be the way you would proceed, and that's the lowest qualified bidder. When you're designing things, you fall under a different section of the statutes, and usually it's a request for proposal. For professional services, when you're over $100,000, you're required to go through a qualification-based selection process. So that's what they did, and they kind of consolidated that process at the beginning of the year and did one big qualification-based selection, and then selected this one after. So,
Thank you.
Other questions?
Just for the design.
And design and construction services.
Yeah. But I mean, you're not, at this point, we're not building anything.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And this, if I understand you correctly, this particular pump station is integral to any other pump stations that we would need to build in that Saldusy drainage basin. So this one has to be upgraded no matter what.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Stephanie, how close are we to maxing out the ability of this current station?
The current station is fairly maxed out as far as flows. We can serve the existing basins that are designed to flow into it. Most of that basin is built out. So I don't know exactly what percent we are in terms of capacity, but we can't add new development. But all I did was compare any new development in that Saldusy basin would definitely exceed the capacity of roads of this pump station. Right now, it can serve what it's designed to serve.
If the Palisades proposed development were to go forward, would that be served by this pump station?
No,
It would not be.
correct. no.
Okay.
It goes to West Devils Lake Road,
Okay.
the whole basin, that whole basin does.
Any other questions of council? Yes.
And we're hoping that by us upgrading this pump station, this will make any developer interested in the village's property more likely to to build there, since we're going to take care of this instead of forcing them to. Is that a fair analysis?
Yes, one of the discussion items that we will be having as far as infrastructure costs that we have already spent or are spending such as this, which of those you will be willing to try to recoup through the sale of the property and which ones you would not be. But again, that's a discussion that we have not had with you yet, but that's part of that discussion.
Thank you.
You need a decision at this meeting, I assume?
Yes, I need approval to award this contract to HBH for this design.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve $156,000 for design services and construction management and inspection services to HBH Roads in Pump Station.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ryan?
Yes.
Sprague?
Yes.
Walke? Yes. Ward?
Yes.
Williams?
No.
And Norikis?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, the next item is the update of the open space maintenance activities. Ian?
Display here. There we go. So, hi, Council. I'm Ian Keene, the Open Space Coordinator.
You talk just a shade louder.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
I'm Ian Keene, the Open Space Coordinator. Here to give you an update on the last about 10 months. The last council received updates at the end of last year, but this council hasn't had an update yet, so I'm still going to backtrack till last September. For anybody that doesn't know, the open spaces incorporate 14 designated areas and approximately 400 acres. It's actually a little bit shy of that, but we use that number unofficially. There is, as the caption shows on there, significant headlands, wetlands, riparian zones. Just about covers the gambit of ecotones and ecosystems in Western Oregon, other than Oak Savanna. I think that's the only one we're missing. So that picture there is Wild Wednesdays, and they're out on the knoll, which is a significant coastal headland and overlooking the lake there. So going back last September, basically I started a 3-month temporary position to fill the open space coordinator job, and as it went on, we were successful enough in recruiting volunteers that the prior city council and then acting city manager David Hawker extended it as a permanent part-time position. So some of our numbers are displayed on this introduction page too, that go back from last September until now. So the numbers on there show a breakdown basically of the 2,168 total volunteer hours are actually, that's a breakdown of both individuals from the community and from afar, and also as well as community groups, the Lincoln City Young Professionals, Willamette University sent students over to participate. We're recruiting now from Oregon State University School of Forestry. There's a wide variety of community groups that have been involved, anyways, to say the least. So, is there any questions on any of the prior arrangement of how that worked, the temporary to permanent position? So the activities have ranged from volunteer activities to community stewardship awareness groups, like the Earth Day celebration. That was Devils Lake Watershed Improvement District, Sitka Art and Ecology, both respectively Paul Robertson and Caroline Brooks from each of those participated in an emerging artists event just to raise awareness about Earth Day activities, but also about Lincoln City open spaces and the program we were doing, as well as Sitka Art and Ecology did the installation of the art project. It was about sustainable use of our ecosystems. Basically, anyways, going forward, the other activities listed up there: birding tours with Audubon Society, that was arranged with Jack and Laura Doyle, Karen Willoughby, and we've been doing that all spring and summer. It's been typically about twice a month that those activities have gone on, and we'll get to more on that in a minute. Wild Wednesdays is with the Community Center with Carl McShane. That was arranged with Gail Kimberling, and that is a youth education program about everything from ecology, edibles, wilderness survival, all kinds of fun stuff for the kids, GPS, navigation. Then again, volunteer days, and Solve, some of the days that are arranged to volunteer with, like the major beach cleanup and stuff the open spaces participated in, as well as tree planting days and restorative revegetation days in the open spaces. On to the birding tours. There's a huge audience that comes with them. Just by association with the national and global reach that Audubon Society has. So that partnership that we did with them, doing birding tours in the open spaces, it's also incorporated the boardwalk for the state park and Siletz Bay and the Salmon River estuary. But those tours have brought people in from as far as New York and Maine, New Mexico, and it's a free-for-all activity, so there's no cost to anybody participating, and it's brought a lot of people. I think the top day was 43 participants at the villages at Cascade Head. 161 total in the 6 events we've done so far. We have 2 remaining events with the birding groups for this month, and then there's potentially going to be another one added on for next month with the photography hike group led by Bob Gibson. One of the things that it says there is broadens the scope of users for open space, which is part of the program that we're trying to build, is getting as many people involved. Just using the open spaces is part of the objective. Back to volunteer days, we kind of covered part of that, but the Solve events, this is a photograph here of Willamette University students planting native vegetation in that same spot. We had cleared Scotch broom, so that entire area was filled with invasive species, and we removed them and put in native species that we can use in open spaces and parks for that matter. So that's a really neat thing that we've been doing. Geocaching has been one of the other special events that we've done. We've done 3 of those total, 1 per quarter. Some of the comments there and stuff, the reason that's included from the website is people that, as one of the persons says there, is normally drive along 101 and don't stop here. And in their little note that they wrote on the geocaching website, which users can see that from anywhere else, they were really excited to have stopped in Lincoln City to do the geocaching event, and were introduced to our whole area by way of doing that. So it's a really neat activity that brings in people from all over without a huge, it's been a minimal financial investment to advertise to it and to put them on, and brings in a lot of people that may not normally show up. So, and as you can see by the photograph, it's a family event that spans generations too. So those are our numbers. There was at least, that's a minimum number, the 300 plus participants in the 3 events. We didn't, at one of the events, there was no way to do a full head count. We know that there was a minimum number there though, because it was packed out. So that's, as I said, it's a wide diversity of age groups and families and individuals, and it really breaches a lot of gaps of getting a lot of people together, and really in each one of the geocache events, they've gone to each open space. So it's a really neat way to get people out there into our spaces. So on the maintenance side, as it kind of showed before, volunteer groups, different stewardship groups. Young man in that photograph is from the Tyee group out of Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians, trimming ivy in Cutler City. The photograph on the left is ivy in Spring Lake open space. Some really bad areas of invasive species that we're trying to control with the trail crews and different volunteer crews. That's a shot of the Tyee group on the knoll. They were up here last week and cleared ivy and scotch broom, and went on a hike to the knoll and the thumb, and learned about natural resource stewardship, basically. One of the main groups of volunteers that we've had throughout the year is from upstairs, Career Tech and the Community Services Consortium crews, and you can see the average numbers there per week when they're in school is when we have them. We've had a summer crew as well this year. They've done everything from revegetation, clearing invasives, trail maintenance, mulching. They're at a spot in Agnes Creek where they did the bare soil surface there had been eroding onto the street and causing problems, and so they did a little project of revegetating and controlling the erosion. So pretty neat projects. And to close, upcoming open space dates on there. August 12th is a Wild Wednesday. That's our second to last Wild Wednesday with the Community Center. That's for youth again. August 20th is an open space birding tour with the Audubon group, and that's again free for anybody that wants to come, and they're meeting down at the D River open space, which is abuts to the Devil's Lake State Park boardwalk there. There's directions on either of the websites that you see there, as well as Audubon Society of Lincoln City. Their website also has any of that information. And the next open space volunteer day is September 12th on there in Agnes Creek, and you can find any of the details on those websites as well. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Ian. You're doing a great job.
Here, here.
Okay, next on the agenda is public hearings. We have none. We don't have resolutions. Any comments from agency members? Hearing none. We are adjourned. We'll take about a 5-minute break, then we'll start the council meeting. Turn them off.
Mr. Chandler?